So I'm 10 years old, and we go on a trip to Universal Studios in Orlando, Florida. And we get there, my dad goes golfing. I think it was a long time ago, but he swings and he goes boom and just like throws his back out. And I've never known my dad to throw his back out before, so this is my first experience of it. And so we're at the beginning of our vacation, and now his back's thrown out, and he's like got the attitude of, he's like, okay, throw my back out. I got the whole family here. He's gonna tough it out, and he's gonna go through this whole trip, and he's gonna just let it go away on its own, or wait a month after he gets home to go to the doctor. So the big day comes, and we're like, all right, here we go, and he's feeling good. And when the day finally comes for us to go to Universal Studios, so he's doing better, at least as far as my memory can tell. Like, he's not he's keeping tough. He's not letting the family see that he's hurting. And so he goes, and we're with my cousin, and I remember we go to, it was Twister, and we go to this Twister ride, and it's like, shows like this barn area, and you see like this tornado go by, and it's like picking stuff up and throwing it, and you're just like witnessing, like, I don't know, like a fake front porch or something like that. And you just watch this actual tornado, like a mini one, inside this room, like go through this room and throw stuff. And it was like pretty cool. And there's another one where there's a disaster where like this whole room got flooded. And I remember it was from a scene in Beverly Hills Cop when he goes to do this play or something like that. Or he goes to like a fun land. And they had to have used this exact ride. And it's like the water sweeps out the bad guys. Anyways, it was some disaster movie. I can't even tell you. But it was like cracks in the ground. Like a police car like flipped up and slid into the crack and the fissure that opened up. And I think that one had flood waters come through. And I was like, this is cool. And there was another one where we went on Jaws, so the guy's got a gun, and he's like shooting at Jaws, and we're in a little boat going around, and it's like Jaws keeps following you around in the boat, and hitting the boat, and popping up. And then there was one more before the infamous ride, and so we go to this, it was King Kong, and in King Kong, you're like, they have like this city built, and you're like hanging in like a car, like almost like you go to those ski resorts. I've never actually been to one, but I've seen them in movies where like you hang from the ceiling, and like when it takes you up, but it's actually like a car you sit in. This thing goes around, and there's like King Kong's after you. It's kind of like Jaws, but you like see King Kong's arm reach out. So anyways, we get off of this ride, and by this point, my dad's starting to crack. Like, he's starting to be like, oh, like, the back's getting to him. And he's trying to go, but he's like, damn. And we're like, well, what are we gonna do, you know? And he's like, well, let's go on a few more rides, and let's get out of here. So we come to this ride. It's Yogi Bear. And they're flying an airplane or something like that, and it's like Yogi Bear's kiddie ride flying an airplane. And we're like, this is a safe one, let's just get on it and let's go. So we get in here, and it's like strap you into your seat, and we're all sitting there, you know, and it's like a big TV screen. We also went on Back to the Future, and that kind of hurt them. So, and Terminator 2. Anyway, so now we're on Yogi Bear's though. And we're sitting there, and we're like all locked in, and he's sitting there, and they're like, all right, here we go, like, we're launching. It's like, boom, and it's nice and easy, and it's like, okay, cool, like, we have liftoff, like, here we go. It's like, uh-oh, Boo Boo, there's some turbulence. And all of a sudden the chair goes, poof, 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 and you just see my dad's eyes go like just pain, and he goes like, and he's lifting himself, so he's no longer sitting down, he's like on his hand, and he's sitting like this, like, and the ride's like, and it's like, and we're sitting there, and we're being 10-year-olds, and me and my cousin, who I brought with me, who is also 10, and my cousin looks over and sees my dad, like, and he just starts laughing, and I look over and I see it, and I start laughing, and pretty soon the whole family's laughing at my dad, like just absolutely horrible. I couldn't even imagine, but it was hilarious. So the ride goes on for like 3 minutes, and he's like just in pain. Like, in that moment he knew what it was like to be a woman giving birth, and so he's like and it gets to the end, and they're like getting shot at and like flying around. He's like, and Yogi's like, hey, Boo Boo, look out, they're shooting at us. And so he comes on, and so this ride gets towards the end, and he's like, whew, that was exciting, Boo Boo. And he's like, there's the runway, we've made it. And so they start to land, and you're coming down, it's nice, easy. He's like, yay, like, we've made it. And my dad goes, just like that. And as soon as he does that, Yogi Bear goes, and I shit you not, Yogi Bear goes, oh no, Boo Boo, the landing gears won't come out. It's gonna be a crash landing. And the ride immediately goes, boom, and drops down. And my dad goes, oh, and it goes, and it's like, this plane like goes, you know, lands on its belly. It's like, and he's like, ugh! And we're just, like, we were laughing before, but when he goes, oh no, the landing gear won't go, right after my dad sighed with relief, we couldn't contain it anymore. We were just crying, we were laughing so hard. And then my dad gets off, and he was like, we get off the ride and we're laughing. My dad's like, that is not funny. That is not funny. But we're just laughing like we can't breathe, and he's like, whatever. And that was, and he's like, my dad's like, screw that ride. He's like, out of all the rides, that was the worst one. And he was like, oh. He's like, screw you, Yogi. Screw you, Yogi Bear. And that was my trip to Orlando, to Universal Studios, and on the Yogi Bear ride. And that's all I remember from that trip. Got my face drawn. That was cool. Wasn't by Deadpool. But, yeah, anyways, subscribe. Follow me on Instagram, Dookie000, or Snapchat, Dookie000, or Twitch, Dookie000. Yeah. Anyway, later.